Hopefully my mic is working.
I hear you, Brian.
Alright. We have mic issues today too as well. Anywho, hey, I see they fixed the track. It's not grass no more. Anyway, thank you for coming on out tonight. As we head to Martinsville in the Truck Series, the old paperclip and Mark, that's not how you get around that turn. The old paperclip in Martinsville, Virginia, 200 laps, 105 miles. The good old paperclip. Look at our NASCAR expertise here, a lot more better than me, that's for sure, to give you the history beyond Martinsville here in a minute. So these boys are closing in on playoffs in the truck side of things in the next couple of weeks. I think 2 or 3, so well, why don't you go ahead and run down the history of Martinsville.
Well, yes, Brian, Martinsville, Virginia, this paperclip figured racetrack used to, back in the day, pit road was on both straightaways, depending on where you qualified or picked. You kind of drew pit road positioning. You either had to pit on the front or back straightaways. There was a lot of racetracks that did that, but anyway, besides the point, now it's just one big long pit lane. But yeah, Martinsville been on the NASCAR calendar or schedule ever since the inception of NASCAR in 1948. I believe this track has been around since either 47 or 46. I want to say 1947. Very flat track. It has a few degrees of banking to it in the corners, but other than that, relatively flat. Years and years ago, I want to say in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, they put down the concrete patching in the beginning and throughout the corners, basically, until the end. Really helps a little bit. You have a bit better traction, supposedly most of the time, through the corner. Also can be rather slick at times. Martinsville, you really got to watch your entry. You really want to get your entry down packed, but you don't want to hop the curb. That can be a term used because there is curbing here at this track. It sets about a good foot and a half up off in the apex, basically, of the corner. And sometimes you can also just get mounted on that curbing and kind of get stuck there a little bit. But yes, this track, pretty much, if you was to pick up a paperclip, it is shaped exactly like a paperclip. Back years ago, they did away with the backstretch pit road in place of garage stalls back there. But yep, Martinsville. I want to say Richard Petty again holds the mark here, or is it Johnson? Jimmy Johnson. I don't think Jimmy won here all that much. Yeah, I think it is Petty. But Chris Kamari there having a difficult time trying to put down a qualifying time. Just entering a bit too hot into turn 1, it looked like. Chris going to be in the 15-15 Studios truck there with a bit of candy sprinkled on the side, it looks like. Some M&M's riding with him, so I believe we have 15 competitors here this evening, Brian, so
I do believe so. We're in the rhythm of the short track swing, so the short tracks tend to not be so popular, we know this. But anyway, let me go over the starting grid real fast.
indeed.
So, P1 would be Matthew Hunsaker. P2 would be Brian Schwartz. P3 would be Randy Koken. P4 would be Dave Berry. P5 would be Robert Amaro. P6 would be Michael Day. P7 would be Ernest King. P8 would be Mark Berry. P9 would be Chris Schaefer. P10 would be Chris Kamari. P11 would be Joe Stipe. P12 would be Josh Small. P13 would be Philip. P14 would be Larry. P15 would be George Rincon. P16 would be JD. And real quick, our race information here. As you see here, Martinsville. It's a 0.5 mile track. Current weather outside is 68 degrees. 44% meaning partly it is cloudy with a 3 mile per hour wind. They got 200 laps, 105 miles. Their fuel is actually 80%. And they do have aluminum tires, 1 quick fix, and 3 attempts at a GWC. So, the old wild paperclip.
Yes, and the fuel mileage, like we see here, like you said, 80% fuel here this evening at Martinsville. A typo on the 100% fuel. So the 80% fuel tanks here, I was hearing about 112, maybe 114 laps, maybe a little bit less than that on a full tank. If we do get to see that long of a green flag run this evening, Martinsville can be quite tricky. It can produce,
Some hiccups.
a lot of cautions, yes, and it can produce a lot of great racing at the same time. So just going to have to wait and see which one we're in store for as we get another warm-up lap here. So 2 warm-up laps this evening.
Good to see Brian Schwartz up there. He is one of the, he does a lot of SKs, so the SKs do a lot of short track racing, so
Yeah, so
good to see him.
if I'm not mistaken, those are the basically the step down from the actual Whelen Modifieds, right? So
Yes.
So yeah, those cars do predominantly run on bull ring type tracks or very short tracks, such as Martinsville as well. So he should be well experienced as we're coming to the green flag, getting the start here on the initial start, running the flagman. Very gloomy conditions, but that Brian here sets up these races to basically what they run in the real world counterpart. So no rain here this evening, unlike what happened in the real world. So Hunsaker gets out to a decent sized lead on the opening lap. I like a lot of these throwback paint schemes that these drivers are running this evening. Nice to see it. The 15 truck of Chris Kamari there. Oh, we got one around already. Not sure who that is on board. Oh, 94. Yes, Brian Schwartz. You were saying we were talking him up really good, and then I think he just might have got blindsided, perhaps.
That is possible. We'll take a look and see what had happened to the 94 here.
Maybe, I think it might have been Schaefer on his inside. No, that's not Schaefer. Oh, he just lost it. They just came around on him, unless that could have been a whole lot of net code. But they were pretty spaced out right there, entering the corner. He could have wheel hopped it. I was saying how the concrete can sometimes be pretty slick. That transition from the asphalt to the concrete, or pavement to concrete, whatever you prefer to call asphalt, tarmac is also one word used, but anywho, that can be a bit of a transition, and these trucks, unlike the cup cars can still wheel hop, but it's a lot harder to get them to wheel hop nowadays. But these trucks and Xfinity cars are more prone to wheel hopping, so that could have been what we saw there, as nice colored rims on the Schaefer mobile, as Chris Schaefer was a good distance away from Schwartz when he had his go around. I'm just going to throw that one down to maybe just a bad wheel hop, a bunny hop in the back suspension of the truck, because the back end came around awful quick on him. He could have just lost the rear end, Brian, on entry. I don't really see another way to call that.
I would believe that's possibly what it is, because hitting the brakes hard here and then
could have had a lot of rear brake as well.
Exactly. So there you want to take. So in that circumstance, you might want to take out some brake.
Yes.
Because these drivers
put a little bit more in the front.
Yes, these drivers do have the option to do that while driving, which is always a good.
Not too many options at the disposal, but the brake bias option is one of the main ones there. These guys are all running on what is called a fixed setup. So when these lobbies or sessions get created for the leagues or the racing series that they run in, the league owner or admin sets up lobbies and they put a fixed setup for the racetrack that they're going to, and all these competitors have to use that setup. Coming here to the restart, Hunsaker, we've always seen it here, Brian, pretty much lead car all the way. Oh, man, Robert Amaro had a bit of a coming together with Randy Koking. Koking wanted to turn down for the corner, and Robert just kind of kept going straight a little bit. He was going to turn in a little bit later. As, Robert keep having a little bit of trouble. Hold her steady, buddy. I believe had a good qualifying run, but Robert just unfortunately isn't always too great at the short tracks. I'd say he's pretty decent at the short tracks. He always gives it an A+ effort. We have another car around Chris Camari in the 15. Almost looks like a Billy Ballou truck from the mid 2010s. That's kind of what it like Billy Ballou had the 15 and the 51 truck before Kyle bought that team from him, or the assets, I guess. However that purchase went down.
That right there looked like he hit the curbing, and when he hit the curbing, just like you said, that shoots the rear
it's going to upset the truck. Yep, either way. Either your front end's going to get dug into a wall, or the rear end of the truck's going to come around, like you say. So, 2 cautions here early on before the lap 10 marker. He's going to get a replay of it here, I do believe.
You see there, he did lock him up. The 9-gate was holding him down there. Good avoidance by the drivers. But he did come and clip the curb in a little bit and sent him around a little bit. So you got to be careful of that curbing. It can come and bite you pretty good.
Yeah, not sure. The pit road exit wall was a little bit obstructed in the way. Not sure if he just hit the curbing or maybe he gassed it up a bit too soon and it just decided to come around on him. But either way, yes indeed, like we kind of preached about, want to stay off the curb, don't hit the curb. It'll truly upset the truck, either maybe wash it up the track or into a fellow competitor, or you'll get kind of beached on the curbing. We see on the road courses on iRacing and in other sims like Assetto Corsa that the sand traps don't really stop you like they do in real life. They'll slow you down a little bit, but you can still drive through it. So, but these curbings here at Martinsville, they will definitely slow you down. They will stop you. So, Matthew kind of looking to have the truck to beat at the moment, even though we've only got a few laps green flag under our belt. But every time he seems to jump out to a nice lead. We had a bit of a couple of drivers out of position on the start and restarts. It is okay. Yep. The pace laps here at Martinsville kind of just a tad bit quick sometimes. They are slow but quick at the same time, just of the length of the track, and that kind of just goes by the wayside sometimes on us.
Oh, see there, that little scuffage in the back there. 3 wide.
Yeah, a lot of backpedaling having to go on, a lot of just checking up so you don't run over your fellow competitor, so don't want to also damage yourself, bop that hood up on you. Chris Camary trying to make up ground that he had lost. Also, who is that with him? Is that Rincon? No.
Well, Randy's on the bottom. There's your third caution. I think a lot of it's going to be solo spins here tonight. It's just
a good portion could be, yes.
Getting on the gas. A little too hard off the turns, and those back ends will come around. But I don't think Randy had help here, that I'm aware of.
I'm trying to remember who it was. Maybe Jim Coleman'sberger or just not too long ago said in a post-race interview, I believe they were at Richmond, perhaps, or we were somewhere, and they said, just gotta drive it like you got an egg under your pedal. So just gotta eggshell it pretty much. Gotta be very patient of getting back into the throttle, letting the truck roll, and he might have clipped the curbing a little bit as well there, or also just getting back into the throttle as well. Right at that point, the truck obviously did not like it. Also, these competitors have to be mindful of easing back into the throttle, not just stomping back down on that loud pedal like some are just. It's kind of just tendencies that some of us get into, Brian. We really want to stomp down on that pedal, getting back to the throttle. But hey, that's not the way to go about it sometimes. And really seeing it here this evening, whether it was in qualifying, a little bit in practice of what we got to see, or even in the race here, working the third caution of the evening.
Refresh the paints here because it's showing Josh in a default paint scheme there. So see if we can get that fixed. And
that was a default paint scheme. I just thought it was something bright neon he threw together.
No, that's
he might have been, working on, but as you say, that's a default truck. So even the default trucks look kind of snazzy.
Yeah. I guess he doesn't have a paint on that Ford, so that is all right.
Well, he's usually in the Pennzoil colors, so maybe he's on a different paint scheme that, or like you say, maybe just doesn't have one on there this evening. But nevertheless,
maybe he jumped in late, couldn't get a paint scheme in real quick for that car. He didn't want to miss the. Oh my goodness! Excuse me. My apologies.
That almost.
Didn't want to miss the.
You're excused.
So he just said,
that almost.
Whatever I got.
That almost looks like something I would throw together rather quickly if I was trying to build a paint scheme myself. I like those type of poppy neon colors, orange and that lime green and that pinstriping blue, but hey, if that's an iRacing default skin, it looks good to me.
Yes, that's exactly what that is. You got the option to paint your car any colors you want. So, as you see here, Matt Hunsaker still in the front.
Joe Stipe in that Martin/Carl Edwards Scott's lawn care machine. That's nice to see. Like I said, some of these drivers in a throwback look-alike car, or paint scheme, I should say. Dave Barry always runs that Dell Jr.-ish Richmond car, or scheme. Mark Berry now trying to go to work on Joe Stipe, take that position away, but got to catch back up to him first. You're going to see a lot tonight. Some drivers better at getting into the corner than out, and vice versa. And some just going to be really good at the center of these corners. But it's all about working with your competitors, not to plow them over, spin them up, like we just see there. Oh, boy. Is that going to bring out a caution? Oh, man. Well, if that didn't then, it most certainly did there. So,
as you see there, Chris trying to keep them straight, but I guess the 00 didn't like that, so. As we go back and look, Chris Kamari knocked him back straight to avoid a yellow, and then that just upsetted all of that. So, when you try to do something nice and get them back going, sometimes it be what it be.
George Rincon, I don't know how much damage Jorge got, but he was able to, if he did get any damage, it's probably just going to be light front work on the truck, maybe. I don't think he hit too hard there, so he was able to kind of stop, back it up, and get it back going again, so.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, just a chain of reaction type of things, Chris had a window of opportunity there on McKenzie and just accidentally, kind of got into him there, as we were talking about. He might be better getting into the corner, and, some are going to be better, either at the apex or at the exit, just different driving lines, driving mentalities, driver preferences, driver etiquette, also goes in hand with that as well. Excuse me.
Yes, okay, and there's 10 weeks left, according to my thing, before we hit the playoffs here on the truck side of things. So there is still quite a lot of racing left in the truck side before we hit the playoffs. So that's always a good thing for these guys. So you get one upset here, then go to next week, and just maybe you can get another shot at it to lock yourself in. So time would tell. So you just have to wait and see.
Also going to have a good handful of drivers locking themselves in on points. Good possibility, so. So, yes, a handful of trucks beat up already here. Not even, we're just up barely past a quarter of the way into this race, so. But still, got a good amount of trucks out there with that typical Martinsville damage already. Getting lined up, set to go for the restart on this lap, I do believe, so.
Yep, as long as they are double file, that's what we will be doing.
That Chevy Silverado iRacing pace truck bringing it down pit road. Matthew Hunsaker, the control truck, yet again going to lead them into turn one. Where they go from there, we'll have to wait and see. As it seems like for the most part, these guys trying to give each other enough room on these restarts and even the initial start of the race, just kind of once you get going from there, like I kind of harping back and keep talking about, it just depends on where you're better at than the person in front of you. You don't completely want to run them over, but you still want to give them enough room to make the corner and also allow yourself to be good enough. Oh,
another one. 2 rounds.
Yeah, 2 incidents there. I think Dave was slowing down for the caution and he got turned. I'm not sure why the caution came out.
Well,
We're about to see that.
The initial one came from the back here.
Oh, Josh, and not sure who's in the PepsiCo truck.
That'll be JD.
Oh, JD.
Yeah, there's that one, and then there was this one back here. So I guess whenever the caution decided to come out, I think it was next time by. Yeah, it was coming right in here.
Oh, was that Swartz?
That was.
Yeah, Swartz
locked them up and
torpedoed down into Day. Just kind of broadsided him there a little bit, excuse me, if anybody caught that, heard that. But, yeah, 2 incidences in one because we had drivers slowing down for the caution, and Swartz just kind of still having that issue, it looks like, on the corner entry that he had from the first incident of the race. And Day, innocent bystander, really, he was minding his own business, and all of a sudden, there's a truck in his right side. And really, you could almost say the same thing about O'Brien. O'Brien was, trying to just get kind of space with everybody, get kind of clear, and Josh got a bit sideways, I do believe, on the corner exit, and got into JD's bubble. Every driver has their type of, space or their type of bubble, and you don't really want to be involved in that area, and you might start hearing some tempers or get some certain phrases you may not want to hear or normally don't hear from certain drivers that you do hear whenever it comes to maybe just a short track or maybe getting into one another a bit too much. But, that can be part of it from time to time. Working the 5th caution here.
oh yeah.
Front runners, Hunsaker and Barry have not pitted. I want to say the top 5 have not pitted. But I do believe everybody on back from 6th on down had pitted at some time or another between all of our little speed up and slow ups that we've been having. So some either involved in an incident or maybe topping off that fuel tank.
As Bonnie the flag man waves that flag one more time as they get ready to go into turn 1.
Randy putting up a big fight there against Barry. Yeah, really letting Barry go. But then Dave's really sticking around the outside, trying to get a good run off of that outside to clear Randy. Some more stack up, some more confusion a little bit further down the line, but finally Dave Barry has enough forward momentum to dispose of Randy at this current time. Matthew Hunsaker already has a good second lead, I would say, over second place. So he's got a nice little buffer. He could just get in the zone, get in a rhythm. Hopefully, that'll give him some more space, more clearance, build up a little bit more of a lead.
Oh yeah, so you see here,
now,
Joe Stipe running P5 at this time. Joe kind of likes Martinsville. He did, I think he finished actually pretty good here last season, so we'll see how well he does here tonight. We don't want to jinx him, so we just don't, we don't put that one in. So
George Rincon up there, as well as Ernest King. Ernest King made a pit stop during one of these cautions, so either topped off for fuel or got another set of tires. probably both, and trying to manage his way back through the field. Looks like Schaefer up there in P4 really hounding Randy. He was kind of beating Randy off the corners. Just a little bit better, I would say, but Randy's really driving it in there on the entry.
Pretty hard he is.
Well, he's trying to defend and keep that third place, but at the same time, kind of harping a couple of drivers behind him off the pace. Oh, yep. Ernest King gets a nose underneath Rincon. Rincon going to give him that lane. Yep, Joe State. What a save for the 13 machine. Almost thought he was going to lose it for sure, but but Ernest King goes around. That's going to be a hard lick to the outside wall for the front of that truck. 3 truck, just a similar experience that his teammate, Brian Swartz, was having.
I wonder what happened. I don't know if it was a brake lockup or...
Just, looks like trying to diamond the corner, and just the corner entry bit him, like I said, similar to his teammate. Not sure if they're having the same steering ratios and all that good jazz, but right on the entry like that very top of the concrete this evening is really kind of upsetting these truckers. Just also just that transition point from the asphalt to the concrete of how he entered the corner as well could have been a little bit to do with it. Not as hard as a hit as we first saw, but still a good enough lick.
Watch this little race off pit road as they come down. A couple of them.
Looks like Josh Small might be the driver getting the lap back here.
Yes, sir, he is indeed.
We have 5 drivers a lap down.
So you see the race off of here. Joe Stipe, Mark Berry.
6 in total.
Philip. Oh, Jorge.
So now 5 on the lead lap, or a lap down. Apologies. Yes, Hunsaker and Berry choosing to stay out just a little bit longer, as well as Schaefer, Koking, and King. Those 5 do stay out. Or did Ernie pit?
Ernie came in.
Okay, so he waited a little bit to pit. Wanted to get caught back up and then pit, which I'd probably want to do that as well, not to lose a lap.
So far, 6 caution, 50 of 200 complete. Your wonderful short track racing can sometimes be like that.
Yes, it unfortunately can, Brian.
Oh,
you would think...
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you would think, there's only... Oh, I dropped that too. You would think, there's about 15, 16 competitors this evening, 16, They would try to, like they have been doing, give each other space, but, you're still going to run into each other. You're still going to occasionally run into each other. I'm not going to say they're going to do it every lap, but contact will be made. These trucks do have fenders and bumpers, so it's not like it's an open wheel car. So green flag back out in the air. Like I said, nope. Go ahead. Yeah, Hunsaker does get a good jump like he has been having, but Schaefer and Barry trying to stay with him. And Joe really, that's going to bring out another caution, I do believe.
That is.
And who did he gather with that? Is that Philip or?
I think that's Randy.
Oh, okay, Randy. I couldn't tell from that angle. I was only seeing like a bit of a rim color. Oh, Randy gave him a shot, and Joe said, "Hey, you gonna give me? I'm gonna make sure you go out with me here. Come on now."
That kind of reminded me of who was it?
Brian Vickers, and I'll think of the guy that Vickers sent. Casey Kane, perhaps.
It could be. And then also I was thinking of who was it? Matt Kenseth and
Flagano.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that happened on the opposite end of the track. But yeah, I could see that a little bit. But I think Joe was mainly trying to just save it at that point, and Randy just unfortunately just happened to be there. I guess that was almost instant karma, but at the same time, Randy probably didn't really mean to punt him, but like I was saying before the restart, it's going to be contact. It will happen. There's almost no avoiding it, or almost no way around it happening here.
Oh yeah. So unfortunately, that came to a halt with Joe Stipe and Randy. I would hate to hear those communications between those two fellow drivers. That's for sure. But 7th caution. We're only on lap 55. It's short track racing. I do believe this is out of Truckwood, but the actual truckers did get quite a few green laps in and a couple of green flag pit stops, and then came their cluster cahoots at the end. So
actually, it rained here.
That's right, it did.
They used rain tires and drove in the rain a little bit. NASCAR has no problem putting rain tires on their lower tier series, or hey, it's North Wilkesboro, let's just give it a try in our cup cars. But pretty much anywhere else, as far as the Cup Series go, they have all these actions in place as far as, these rain flaps and a windshield wiper defogger and lights and everything, but it's almost like they're scared, to do it with the Cup Series. It seems like they say, hey, we'll do it, but then they kind of backtrack and take some steps back.
But at first I thought they were doing a choose rule here. I'm like, what are they doing? Kind of threw me for a little loopy-loop. Well, Thursday we come back here in a somewhat not so truck. So we come here with the Xfinity Series on Thursday. So we got another double dosage down on Thursday. And that restart going a little brutal for the outside lane, but they'll get it eventually. Just like that, the 15 got to the back of the 5. That does happen. A little brake check, a little slip and slidage for sure. Martinsville, bumpers will fly, and I do believe the lights clicked on, Will, so that's always a good thing too as well. So
yeah, I think they've been on for a couple of cautions now.
You could be right. Just Brian not paying attention, I do assume. I see the
just
side by side.
I was just going to say, just the way the lens or really the flare of all the lighting, it can look a bit deceiving whether they're on or not at times. because the sun was also kind of setting with the cloud cover that we had this evening. So
that is very true. You're absolutely correct. So the 9, Mark Berry gets on by George Rincon there. Philip Richmond to the inside.
yeah, he's having a good tussle there with George Rincon. George really able to hang tough on that outside lane. You can do it here at Martinsville. It's just really tough.
Phil.
Oh, with a long baseball slide. Did he save it? I'm not too sure.
Kept her out of everybody's way, but yeah, Phillips back up. Must have hit the brakes a little bit too hard, and there went that caboose.
I just think he was also trying to keep it off of Rincon as well, because Rincon was clear trying to get down in front of the 2-truck abridgment, and Philip was kind of like, oh, Nelly, and just trying not to run into the back of the 29 machine of Rincon. But yes, like you say, got it locked down, but got it back going again, so no caution came out for that. He kept it straightish enough for iRacing, and also, I guess, didn't come to a complete enough stop either, so. But able to keep it going straight, keep it on the lead lap. So, not everything has been thrown by the wayside just yet for Philip. Maybe gonna have a caution here, and he'll get caught back up, but only in due time, as we are finally getting into a nice green flag run here, one would hope.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. As you see there, Rincon just pacing himself at this time here. Behind that 23, since they are single file, and I'm sure now the track is a little bit more pulled off. So, but I think also the grass being on the inside there. But now it's all asphalt now. So.
Yeah, that could have a little bit to do with just where the drivers kind of place their truck, or where they normally like to, visual aids. Every driver kind of picks certain spots out on a track. Oh man, right as Dave Barry was kind of running Matthew down, I do believe, just a little bit, at least keeping with reason. And is this McKenzie or Day? Oh, I believe it's McKenzie here. Oh, just had a real bad moment. Oh, he's gonna, oh my. Who is that said hello to him?
That would be
Robert
Amaro.
Oh. Oh man, Robert just kind of, in a way, these are kind of blind corners, and he really wasn't expecting McKenzie to come up like he did, come back up after banging the wall to the inside there, and just some unfortunate circumstances there. That's going to give some damage to the 77 of Robert Amaro. He was already 3 laps down from some earlier. Yes. And this is really going to harpen that cause of but hey, Robert's probably still going to try to stick it out and keep logging those laps, trying to get better at Martinsville. Like I said earlier, I do believe he had a real good qualifying time, but just wasn't able to capitalize, unfortunately, but gave it a good A-plus effort, I'd have to say. He stuck it out for a couple of good restarts there up in the front until just got shuffled back to the back.
Yes, indeed. He sure did.
Not sure, is it going to be Chris Camary that gets the wave around?
Yes,
Or
yep, it was Chris.
Okay, so that's going to put 11 drivers back on the lead lap, or in total, I should say. Working the 8th caution here. Are we on lap 75?
We are on lap 74.
Oh, okay, 74.
74. As you see here, the pace car pulls off as Randy will lead the field of 2 green this time. I like how they moved the restart zone.
Is it moved?
Yeah, it's not in the middle of the turn no more. So it used to be right there, and now it's right there. So it's a little bit more on the front stretch there.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Because you see how the quarter of that wall and the 9th caution is out here. The wonderful Martinsville.
We're in back gaggle here. Was that Ernest or was that Swartz?
That was Swartz. But it looked like the 23 came around first. As we come back here and look. Martinsville's rough, always is rough. Lifting points is a key.
Oh, he got kind of nudged.
So he got hit by, which would be the 3. Oh.
Just kind of like we said, though, just getting back into the throttle before the competitor in front of you, or you may be a bit better in the center of the corner than some of your competitors, and that's kind of the net result, in a way, of what we have been explaining pretty much this entire time. Also, at the same time, looked like Chris Schaefer just kind of arcing his corner down a little bit, just a tad bit, but Ernest kind of gave him a punt.
Oh yeah. That's what that looks like. I mean, like I said, lift points and brake points are all different. And a lot of these guys got to understand a lot can break a lot later than others, and some got to break earlier to position the way their car is to get through the turn. So eventually they'll get it all going again. 20 more laps and they will be halfway. So hopefully they can keep it going here. So lap 81 at 200. Randy's going to lead the field back to green here. With Rincon in third, Matthew in fourth. So it looked like, yeah, Matt's in fourth. So it looked like Matt lost, what, a spot? 2 spots?
Two.
2 spots. No, Matt's on the inside.
Well, he's restarting third.
That's right, so yeah.
He was first.
That's right. That's the old restart zone, the new restart zone right here. And Randy's off. Oh, that you see that tire spin from Barry. Hopefully these boys can keep it going. But lift points and all that other snaz is a different type of deal here. But as you see, some can aggressively charge the turns better than others. Some are laying back a little bit, want to get around, they want to learn the track more, and they just do not feel comfortable yet with pushing the truck. Hopefully by maybe the 5 to 10 laps left, yes, they'll be able to, but I really say for right now, just ride it out. Get the laps and get comfortable, watch what others are doing, watch how others are getting into the turn, where you can capitalize and where you think you can gain on them throughout the parts of the track. You see there, is that the 3? That is the 3. Keeping Josh Smalls to the outside. But Philip Richmond is slowly closing in on Mark Berry.
But exactly, go back to your point that you were making. That's exactly what you want to try to do here. You want to just be patient, log some laps, and focus on what your competitors are doing around you, how they're getting through the corner, so you can probably capitalize on them as far as getting a better run off of the corner, or getting in there a bit deeper than your other competitor, and maybe just get a bumper or a full nose, just placing the truck right and getting that position on the competitor. But as we see here, everybody trying to give each other room for the most part, it looks like. Some just really attacking the corner, and others waiting to have that better drive off of the corner.
I feel like now it's only a lap behind. See that? So it's even better. But anyway, as you see, Rincon to the outside of that 5 of Randy. Rincon checked up, let Randy get it, but Rincon is going to capitalize by try to go into the inside of that 5. Get it sit there. Now you see Phil there with a bobble in the wall. He goes. But Rincon's still trying to get on by Randy to the inside there, just like that, as he attempts to make the pass on him.
Yeah, so once you lose that bottom of the track positioning in that bottom lane, it's going to be very tough. Oh, you just got to work muscle your way back in there like we just saw Randy do. Mark Berry had position on him, and Randy kind of cut across his nose. Very lucky he didn't wipe out there off his nose.
Oh yeah. You see Philip Richmond being stuck on the outside. Oh, with a little slippy from the back end of that tube machine there of Philip Richmond. But he got it planted, got it underneath him, so now it is just setting the pace from here. As you see, Barry just hit the curb there, didn't want to wash up and collect the 3. He's going to let the 3 get back in front of him, and Barry's just going to ride in line here. So
yeah, everybody looking like they are getting in a good rhythm here. Just now logging the laps, and these laps will just kind of click on by as time will pass as they are logging them down. And hopefully, by the time you know it, just a few blinks or so, this race will just swing on by, Brian. About 19, 20, maybe 21 second lap times here, so just depending on how good you can get around here, and also eventually the tire fall off, but
well, there you go. There's the last lap time. So Rincon, out of everybody right now, has the fastest lap with a 19.9. That last lap. Oh, and Barry's now getting faster, so as they cross the line, you'll see their lap time change. So between 19 to 20 seconds a lap. So, yeah, these laps are going to tick away, and now, see how this all works out here.
we see, gonna say, look at Bridgman and Schaefer having a good battle there for P5. That is a top 5 position, and about the closest battle I do believe that we have on track. So,
you see Philip there got lost in the marbles up there.
Yep, he had a good moment, and that's going to lose at least 2 positions, so he's going to fall down to about 7th place.
Now as JD goes back 1 lap down.
Looks like he kind of just missed his braking point there and just overdrove the corner, unfortunately, and that's going to take him at least a couple of laps to regain back his rhythm he was in.
We are now halfway through this race. Now we'll see.
You can really see. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you can see the front brake rotors now glowing on the front of these trucks.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Barry there, right on the tailgate of Hunsaker as they work their way through Schwartz and Day, not Michael Day, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Michael Day.
Michael Day in the 20 machine. Almost looks like an unsponsored Jeff Bodine truck. Oh, Schaefer had a moment, it looks like, but kept it going straight enough, apparently, for not a caution of wave.
He probably had a little slip up there, a little mishap, and...
Yep, probably got really twitchy back to the throttle and couldn't get back to the throttle the way he wanted to, and started to come around, but he saved it. But that, just like the Bridgman incident, that cost him a couple of positions, at least 3, I believe, so... Yeah, I'd say if George Rincon could maybe get another caution, he might have something for Barry and Hunsaker here this evening, but he's not really gaining nor losing anything at this moment in time, riding in that 3rd position, but...
Well, we can go to our favorite part of the night, so we can get rehydrated and then get back to the action here. So we're going to go ahead and go to our favorite part of the night. Do I have it on this? Oh, I heard somebody is wrong. Yeah, I got it on this one. To the wonderful sounds of these trucks on the Crank It Up section of the night. So give you a couple of laps of this, and we hope you guys enjoy it. looks like we got a caution. Gotta go get me a beverage. So as we come back here and look, looks like the 3 of Ernie. Push to the inside. Oh, just too much off the turn. Gets her all looped and straight into the wall. So, rough night for Ernie, that's for sure. But a lot of these drivers are in the pit road here, so we'll watch the race.
Yes. This should, for definitely sure, make a sentence. This should definitely get all the competitors home on fuel, and this might be also the last time we see them come in for tires, perhaps, as well, Brian, but they should be good to go now on a full tank of gas.
And just
Shouldn't.
As you said, this is what Rincon needed, so Josh Type's going to lead, Matt's second, Rincon third. But the race at a pit road is Hunsaker, Rincon, Berry. So this is going to be interesting to see. Well, she's still got to pit unless she's going to pit. But I wouldn't do that now because pit's closed. Oh, man. Might hurt a little bit, that's for sure. So Matt's gonna lead. So Rincon will be P2. Then Dave Barry. So we'll see what these 3 can do up here in the front.
Yeah, I think Rincon might have just enough pace to contend for this win here this evening. Once he finally made it clear and got by, I believe it was Randy.
Yes.
Just kind of evened out, wasn't able to chase down or also couldn't really get pulled away either by the 2 leaders in front of him. So I think, like I said, I just think he just needed to caution, get caught back up with Barry and Hunsaker, just see what he has left in store in the tank for Hunsaker and Barry. Mark's up here now, see if Mark can stay up here, do anything. Also, Chris Schaefer. Hunsaker gets the roll. We got a wreck off the restart. Looks like 4 or 5 trucks gathered in this gaggle there.
So this did involve Josh Small there, Philip Bridgman. So a fast, quick.
Somebody.
Yeah, Randy spun the tires.
I was going to say somebody spun the tires, and oh man, spun the tires and broadside right into the 2 truck. So I guess the 5 wanted to add a couple of digits, but maybe right on board with Chris Kamari or Josh Small and see what they got to see, because they both for sure had a front row seat. Josh most definitely got taken out to brunch here. Martin's, oh man, you can see that deadly wheel spin from the 5, and they kind of wanted to say, hey, I want to go. No, you go on. And did Chris Kamari get a little piece of it here? I was going to say, whoa, Brian, you're winding a bit too far, but you got it. So, what trying to get back to the throttle or get on the throttle, and oh my! Also, you're changing gears. You're shifting gears there, and that could kind of catch you out as well. If I'm not mistaken, the 2 and the 5 are supposed to be teammates, I think.
Yeah.
And that's always lovely when you take out your teammate. I was talking to a fellow commentator the other night, and the rule of thumb, or the, not necessarily rule of thumb, but rule number 1 in racing with teammates, or someone you want to be teammates with, is don't wreck your teammate. And it will happen eventually once you race around each other enough and all that goodness whenever it comes to racing. But there is a high likelihood when you race around your teammates enough that will transpire, that will happen. You will eventually kind of take them out somehow or another, but you just hate to do that. You hate to see teammate on teammate crime, especially if you're racing, sports cars or like open wheel cars, for instance. Where those points are more valuable than most of the time stock car racing. Sports car and open wheel, those type of series, points are awarded for most of the time. It's just like the top 10 who get points over there. So that type of driver etiquette is on a whole nother level compared to stock car racing or racing with fenders. Well, the start might have got waved off. Yep, it got waved off, I do believe. I don't think you're holding a speed slowing the speed down here. So
I did hear it looked like a car blew up on the initial coming to the start takeoff there. I don't know who it was.
Yes, restart. Man.
Oh.
Maybe the 2 of Philip might have had. He's going awful slow. Oh, okay. My apologies.
Oh, as Dave gets looped around. But Dave is going to keep on the wall, keep going. That is the hard throttle on the... hard foot on the gas, sorry. And around went Dave, but... Dave's now in the back here, B7.
A similar incident, such a similar incident to what Randy had, and connecting with Philip, but Dave Barry didn't have nobody there to kind of help him, except for that wall, which safer barrier wall all the way around Martinsville here, except for the inside of the corners, but kind of very similar to Pocono. Pocono is another track, and I think Indianapolis is another track that has safer barrier completely around. Not every track has the safer barrier completely around all of it. I think Atlanta now has safer barrier all the way around. Bristol has they don't. I don't think they have safer barrier for the dirt races, but all of the pavement races, I think Bristol has safer barrier all the way around.
Yes.
Just sitting here trying to remember all those tracks can hurt your head, so I'm going to stop that now.
Ironically, I do believe you will be up there on the dirt side of things on Saturday night.
Yes.
So that'd be another interesting. We did the trucks on dirt, now we go cup cars on dirt. And then
Hopefully, Chris Camary remembers his truck dirt experience and can also, remember how challenging it can be racing on dirt, because he will be there as well. He is the 1-5 Studios. Oh man, Hunsaker. As we see, Rincon up here still able to challenge. I thought, hey, all he needed was another caution. He got a couple, but he has been ever present, lurking just back here with Hunsaker in that second position after Dave Barry had his untimely misfortune on the restart. All the restarts, Dave had been really good up until that point, but all it takes is just that one restart, that one speeding in pit road, that one mistake, and that'll cost you sometimes a race, because who knows, he could have had the pace or the speed to eventually get by Hunsaker. He was there just about every time we would get some type of green flag run, and we're getting another one right here. Oh my goodness, excuse me if anybody heard that burp.
You got Schaefer, you got Barry and Barry all lined up here.
Yeah, Mark Barry actually ahead of his brother for a change. Would you look at that? Mark ever so much improving race by race, week by week, Brian. So even though, his brother's kind of back there on his own. Oh, is that brother on brother crime?
As we were just
talking about
him.
I guess David didn't like him in front of him. Apparently, he said, "Get out of here."
Well, I don't know. It looked like.
Mark.
I have to get to a better view here.
Mark.
There we go.
It just came around on Mark.
Because it looked like he hit the brakes and then either the front lock or the back did.
Yeah, it just came around on him. Man, I didn't see it in time, so I just assumed David got into him, maybe under braking, but no. Just Mark this time with his own mistake, man. Everybody, earlier it was just people getting into people or those solo spins, but this time it was another solo spin, but this time it was a competitor up in the top 5. Mark had been run into previously, but this time he wanted to say, or not say, but do his own mistake, I guess. Self-inflicting, self-harming mistake, when one would add, that he was running really good too. Like I say, we've said it before in the past, Brian, whenever you're trying to talk good about somebody, it's not necessarily, the commentator's curse, but the commentator may feel like, man, I had something to do with that somehow, but all you're trying to do is just talk good about these guys or these competitors out here and how well they're doing. And
so that ended up putting
Philip back on the lead lap.
Yep, thank you.
There you go. Yeah, it took you long enough. I just had to say it for you. It's okay. We help each other out like that. I love how all the satellite dishes say DirecTV on them. But of course, those like pit box models were probably coded in back whenever NASCAR had like a thing with DirecTV.
Yes.
A partnership. There we go. They don't really have satellite dishes anymore, like some of them do, but most of the teams now, they have a lot of antennas. Or they have like built-in Wi-Fi or something, something that comes along with that.
Yes, I agree with you. I think they, I'm trying to think of that term that you're talking about. ain't that, that's for sure. No, I'm not speaking in a native tongue either.
Well, Chevy Silverado pace truck peels down onto pit road for the, in total, that would be 13th time, but 12th time under caution.
Oh,
who was? That was Schaefer. Yeah, that was Schaefer. I had to double check there. My apologies. Schaefer there that time having his own mistake on the restart. We're seeing a lot of wheel spin late in the race as contact was being made by Ernest King and Josh Small, I do believe, but Josh Small was defending himself rather smoothly there. I was going to say beating him off with a stick, but because that's kind of, whenever like a small dog is biting you, you're either like kicking it away or, well, on Swartz, it looks like, I believe that's the Swartzmobile, having another problem, and Barney the flag man throwing his back out viciously, waving that caution flag for the 13th time of calling. And are we 50 to go, Brian?
Yes, we should be coming to the line. Should be 50 to go.
Because the stream has buffered a couple of times, and I've gotten. That's just why I asked.
Oh yeah, it still is. What the craziness is going on here? I know I was doing good for a while.
Yeah, it was like a lap or two behind at one point. We were really good.
Yeah.
But it happens. It happens. I would say the short tracks and the road courses is where like our it really suffers the most there, I would say.
Yep. Let's see here. Let's take a look. Yep, we are now on 150. 151. 151.
So with Microsoft, I know this is kind of diverting off the topic of this race here this evening, but Microsoft recently made the purchase complete of Activision Blizzard, and by doing so, all of the old Call of Duty games have been updated and like they're like clean now. They're not like dirty servered or nothing anymore. Like you can go in there and play and not have modders in there anymore. Like you can play Black Ops 2 again and feel safe. I guess you could say, if you are into the old Call of Duty nostalgia feeling, if you own those games digitally or even on disc, whether it's on PC or console. I'm more so probably on Xbox, I would assume.
Was telling me something like that.
Yeah. I watched a couple of, I guess you could say, like, content creators or people on YouTube that have shown basically what the gameplay looks like now, and it looks like days of old, I guess you could say. Austin Dillon got fined $5,000.
Did he?
Yeah, for throwing his helmet.
I was just about to say, he threw his helmet at, who was it? Reddick, I think.
Yeah. Which, I mean, both of those incidences yesterday, in my opinion, like the people that spoke about them as far as the drivers, like Denny Hamlin and Austin, they seem kind of blind or live in like another dimension, it seems. Anyway, Matthew Hunsaker has a good hole shot restart yet again, and everybody trying to file down onto the bottom for the most part to get in that bottom lane on this restart. And Barry and Rincon having a tussle for that second place. Rincon getting car length or two, truck length or two over Barry, going to dispose of Barry, now setting his sights on the race leader. Chris Camary finally got the truck under him, it looks like, for the most part, and is up here inside the top 5. So he finally got it running good, it looks like. And we'll probably see him go around next after I said that. So let's keep an eye on that 15, shall we? Just for old time's sake. And, Randy having a tussle with Ernest, it looks like, I do believe. So.
Yeah. And you got Philip Bridgman back here, caught in the mix of that. As Philip gotten finally back on the lead lap. And a new truck there, so.
Yeah, we have 11 trucks on the lead lap, and we have, let's count them, 1, 2, 3 laps down, and McKenzie is 8 laps down. So Robert finally decided to load it up on the hauler a little bit ago, and said enough is enough of Martinsville. I at least showed up and gave it a try. So, good little tussles all about, as Randy trying to give it back to Ernest after Ernest finally got by Randy. Now Philip's like, oh my, I've got to try to find my way around Randy. As Chris Schaefer putting pressure on to Mark Barry. But, oh, there we go. Philip Bridgman.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now diving underneath into turn 3. He saw the window of opportunity. The door had opened for him. Chris Schaefer doing the same thing back to Mark Barry. So both of these battles in the same picture frame at certain points. But, oh goodness. So Chris Schaefer got by Barry. Philip Bridgman still working on Randy. Randy now going to try to set him back. But Philip says, all right, I got by you, goodbye. As now Chris Schaefer looking to do the same thing. Randy hit the curb. Randy hit the curb in turn 3, but didn't really slow him down too much. But that slowed him down enough to, Schaefer now working his way downstairs, trying to give Randy enough room as he needs. And good battle here for what position is this?
7th.
Okay, 7th. So, good fighting for 7th and 8th position, because now it's going to be Mark Barry and what?
Oh, Larry sitting out there in the middle of turn 3 and 4.
Yes, he was. That McLaren-looking truck, Toyota. Man, I just made a lot of Sims right there. Holy moly. So he's got like a Honda, like liveried McLaren on a Toyota.
Yeah.
Man, where did he find, who created this for the Toyota? If anything, it should be on like a Chevy or like maybe a Ford, because there had been Ford McLarens in the past. But man, we saw from like the bubble cam or like the roof cam earlier, it has like Honda badging. So like, it's like a late 80s McLaren, I think, because they had Honda power.
So this is about to make things interesting.
Oh yes, it is.
So we found
40.
out they went back and looked at it. I know it's a little bit too late. At 146, restart violation for the one car.
Oh, Matthew Hunsaker. So what? He got to restart at the end or
Yep.
something or.
Yep, just the end. So.
Well, hey, it's okay if our penalty system. Well, not. I have nothing to do with it. If the BNR penalty system is a bit like the FIA and want to wait sometimes to dish out a penalty, it happens in the real world. So sometimes it happens in the sim world. Sometimes sometimes the FIA is still handing out penalties way after a Formula One race has ended. They just can't control themselves. So they're like, when did the race end? Oh, hours ago? Oh well, you're still getting a 5-second time penalty. So that's a good little.
Verstappen win on Sunday again?
Yes, and Lando Norris broke his trophy. But
yes, I saw that.
But it totally wasn't Lando's fault because, apparently Verstappen set it too close to the edge. Apparently, but do you know how much? So whenever you finish on a podium in other racing series, you have these champagne bottles that all you got to do is kind of just slam it down. And, the cork will fly off, right? And that's kind of what Lando did, but it looks like he did it on the top step of the podium right next to this trophy. It kind of looks a bit sus, in my eyes. But, yeah, that trophy that broke, that was Verstappen's, was $45,000 US. So I don't know if he's going to glue that back together or buy himself a new one, or as we see Hunsaker stuck in the back due to a restart violation earlier in the race. That penalty served, and J.D. O'Brien getting across the nose of Randy as Ernest King and Chris Camary had a hard tussle for second place. Other action going on behind them as Ernest kind of drove Chris up the track a little bit in 1 and 2, and then going to get a replay here of what happened behind them. Oh, okay. Well, Randy said, I've got a nose here, and I think that's just what done did happen.
Yeah. So, as we come back and rewind here, we saw JD lock the brakes up, as we said. Everybody's lift points and brake points are a heck of a lot different than others, and others will take more than give, and this one was just neither, and it's like, alright, you're slow, get your ass out my way, and...
Yes, get that buttocks away from me.
Yes, and then...
Goodness.
Should we do, and then we'll come back. I want to see where, with these two, was it going on the same lap? Well, I guess we'll find out. Oh, man. As we come in here, and this is what we were talking about before. Brake points. Oh, you're just gonna... Thank you. I'll come through here. Thank you. And unfortunately, that's how it is Martinsville. You're gonna see that, and that's what we were talking about. Prior to that, everybody's lift points is different. So, unfortunately, that's that. So, I'm guessing expect to be expected, and that's that one. What the heck happened to the King? Why is he going to the back? I wonder if he pitted. Yeah, he might have pitted. That's right. It is Martinsville, so it's luck of the draw, I guess. But Matthew is slowly catching back up. Hey, one more caution and Joe's back on the lead lap. Ain't this a doozy, huh?
Yeah, he was 3 laps down or 4. I think it was 3 laps down. So going to slowly maybe get all those back. And even Michael Day, hey, he says he's 4, but never out of it until it's completely over. Till they wave that checkered flag, don't stop.
Don't stop.
No, please. Anyway, not the same. Not the same that I was getting at.
Believe it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I thought that's what you were referencing to, so.
I mean, good song, yes, but not. Don't stop giving up, or like.
Don't stop giving up.
What's another phrase that could go along with "don't stop"? Anyway,
25 laps to go, Will.
Yeah, 25 to go. Well, it's going to be about 24. Yeah, the lights are out on the pace truck, so 24 to go. 23. No.
It'll be
24. Yes. I just like getting ahead of myself, Brian. That's what I do. So, yes. Who did Ernest King pit, or did he have a penalty to serve? I'm very. Oh my! Somebody wanted to play bowling in the back. That's live action. That's kind of what that looked like to me. Somebody doing their best Valtteri Bottas impression.
Oh man!
Hopefully somebody gets all my F1 puns I've been saying this race. Oh, Randy! That was Randy! Randy just knocking out all the dominoes, man. He said, I'm going bowling. He said, hold my beer. He said, I'm going to get the best restart possible by straightening turn 1 here.
I mean, I guess that's one way to take out your teammate.
And, yeah, poor Mark. That's how I feel. Man, Phillip as well, like you say, teammate on teammate crime yet again. I almost want to say, Randy, what were you thinking? But at the same time, I don't want to ask him anything, so.
Well.
He just wanted to be a bowling ball.
It's funny because that's what Richard just said.
I mean,
it's.
He said, batter up.
I mean, this isn't the Gold Bowling 105. That's just the St. Watkins Glen.
Our Pocono, because they've had the same sponsor there too, so.
Exactly. That is true. But if I'm Barry, I am extremely hot-headed at that. Had a good chance.
Yes, Mark Barry.
Yes, Mark. Good shot to possibly go for the win.
The stream always buffers under caution.
Yeah, I don't.
It's like.
As soon as you go green, it's wonderful.
Yeah, for the most. Yeah, but it's mainly under caution. I love it. It's great. Anywho, I'm not really complaining. I'm just saying what it does, you know.
Yeah. Anywho, yes, if I'm, well, Joe's back on the lead lap now. That's what he wanted, so he got that, so.
Man, as much as I call these races, it really makes me wish I truly was capable of having iRacing. Really, just seeing all the different paint schemes and stuff you could have. But
oh yeah, there's a lot of them. They got those guys in the 60s and 70s. Like, you should see all this crap they have. There's one guy I follow.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like a Catholic nun at times.
Anywho, Chris Camary on the outside of Dayberry. Let's see what happens here. Who becomes the next bowling ball victim here? Oh, there it is. Just at it.
Oh my! Hey, we're still green.
If I'm Rincon, as the buffers again.
Yeah, if I'm Rincon, I would just want to like brake check whoever just did that to me. That's just me. That that's my. Whoa! Is that Ernest or? Yeah, that's Ernest, right?
That is in a 3. Yes. I love it because it is
You know-
not from Martinsville. Tempest flare at short tracks. You gotta love it.
No, I don't mind night races, but like for me, it's difficult to see car numbers sometimes for a night race. Just for me, how some people set up their numbers and how dark it can be at a certain spot.
And this is why we don't drive.
Oh man!
That's why
Oh,
we stay
man.
to the outside. And but that's not the reason why the caution was out.
No, everybody kept it going straight. Surprisingly, man.
Caution came out here, and I believe it was this one.
Oh, not the pole sitter. Oh man. I think Randy, or not Randy. I just want to call everybody Randy now. I think Ernest just maybe got into the gas and came across Hunsaker possibly.
I would say.
Ta-da.
But poor Rincon, sitting there on the Tuesday night drive, sitting P3, and then bada boom.
Yeah, got basically torpedoed.
Well, we've seen that twice tonight. Hopefully Thursday doesn't go like that. But I'm sure we'll probably be there, but different car, a lot looser conditions, I'm sure. So
Yeah, I think the Xfinity car has about 100, maybe 200 more horsepower than the truck. So, something like that, somewhere in that ballpark. And just the weight differential and everything, just how they do drive a tad bit different
yeah.
compared to the trucks.
Well, heck, Josh, you're going to start P4. Drop for the green flag, just jump down behind the third place car and go into the turn.
Yeah, just bonsai. Kamikaze somebody.
Randy did it. Schaefer did it.
Yeah, why not? Let's see some more people do it.
As I said, Josh, you're starting P4. I guess if you get that clear passage ready to jump in front of Phillip, then
What lap are we on?
12 to go.
Oh, okay. I'm still seeing. Okay, there we go.
Yep, go figure. It's a pace car, it's a pace truck. Sorry, pulls off.
I mean, same thing. Dave Barry. Yep, I was gonna say something similar.
And the caution's back out. Uno mas.
Goodness gracious.
Restarts are having iffies. Restarts are iffies. That looks like to be JD. Oh my goodness.
Mark Berry in the war again.
Restarts are the problem. I'm mashing that throttle too hard, and then that brake check, and then Poor Barry. Poor Mark. Martinsville is not his best friend, that's for sure.
It was earlier, and then it decided to slap him in the face.
Exactly.
Just, yep.
Well, if I'm Dave, I'm just gonna say I'm not even gonna pit, because
Yeah, it's kind of like, what do you do here? Because you got 11 trucks on the lead lap, and for Martinsville, that's very tough to drive through in the amount of laps we have left. So pretty much, Brian, I would have to agree with you for the most part, unless you're running on empty. Running on empty. I did it there myself. You know, you're kind of just in that bed that you have made and laid in for the past couple of restarts, and very tough for Hunsaker. You know, you noted on the restart violation he had, and having to work through that.
an FIA penalty,
So,
I might as well say. About 20 laps later, boom, there you go, Hunsaker, you get it. Well, there'll be a lot of dirty laundry to clean up. 7 to go.
okay.
There'll be a lot of dirty laundry to unfold. Dirty laundry.
Yes, kick them when they're up, kick them while they're down.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
So, Chris Kamari, he's been in the war as well this evening, setting up their P2. If he keeps having decent enough, good enough restarts, question could be, does he have anything for Dave Barry? We see Chris Schaefer, he's going to be P3 on that inside lane. Josh Small, P4 outside. Bridgman's going to be inside. Hunsaker outside. Rincon inside. Stipe on the outside. Ernest inside. And Mark Barry is going to restart on the outside. So if anybody cared or wondered.
Brian Schwartz will be back on the lead lap.
Yep. That would give us 11 competitors on the lead lap, but are we going to see that one more caution? Hopefully not. As we get to the restart zone here, Dave Barry with another whole shot restart. Schaefer taking full advantage to that. Chris Kamari diving in once Schaefer cleared him, and tussle going on for 4th position between Smalls and Bridgman. A whole gaggle back here. You have Rincon trying to find his way back through the field, as well as Hunsaker. Do they have enough time? That's still questionable, up in the air.
Oh, Matt's going to see it. Oh, just like that.
Yes, he did. Oh, man. We're going to have a kind of a parking lot pile up here. And this will be, I done lost count how many cautions we're on, but
19th.
Oh my goodness. 19th caution.
Business.
Well, like I said, him and Hunsaker as well were trying to work their best through this front, through the field. And like you said, Matthew really sent it in there, hopped the curb as well as potentially hitting Rincon. I think he did most certainly hit Rincon. I was trying to see it when it happened live and while you were replaying it, so I could, but I didn't have my phone positioned to see, one eye on one mistakes. Here we go. I get another view. But just...
Well, I think that
Matthew. He clipped Rincon.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And then hit the whatchamacallit.
Swartz might have been involved. He could have had contact with somebody. Like you say, I don't think that puts him on the lap are on the wave around. I think that's what you were trying to say.
Yes.
So green, white, checkered situation. Love to see it here tonight at Martinsville. I mean, I guess, some people do, but anyway, I'm almost beside myself. I can't believe 19 cautions with 16 people, Brian.
Yeah, it's a lot of
But sometimes,
and it's Martinsville.
Yep. Sometimes that's just the way that will crumble. I agree with you. It's Martinsville. A lot of mistakes can and will be made. I'm choking myself on air. And
just really that funny. It's
no, it's not. It's just the way I say it. I know.
Oh, here comes Steve fixing to figure out what the hell's going on. So who got? I know it wasn't JD that got it. I don't think anybody did because they all probably got collected in.
I think JD was 3 laps down, so I think he got a lap back.
Okay. So
I think. Let's just keep pondering. I have no idea. Anywho, all right, sip of water. Here we come. Let's try that again. So,
Josh to the outside. There you go.
Yep, gonna get the restart here. Hopefully, this will be the only attempt at the green light checkered.
I don't think so. They get 3 shots at it. So this is attempt number 1. So,
Chris Camary might have a good jump here. Might have a real good position on Schaefer. Dave Barry has a real good breakaway on the field. Oh no! Just want to be like Toto Wolff and throw my headset down in anger, but I don't have an unlimited supply of Bose headsets, so my boys are, man.
Oh, so Michael Day will get the lucky dog.
Yeah, because Brian Swartz definitely involved in this.
So we're talking about, they keep jumping on down after they cross the line. They'll all be avoided if you just stay on the outside. Get situated, and then you guys wouldn't be doing multiple GWCs.
And we all wouldn't have to pee. And we all wouldn't have to be sitting here. Yeah, I was trying to say be sitting here so much longer. Yes. But,
Well, Michael, you got 1 lap back.
Yeah, all of our trucks that are currently a lap down, the 3 of them, it's 1, 2, 3. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Anywho. Dave Barry, basically, if I'm Chris Camary, I kind of just want to really go when he goes, but that's so hard to time. But here lately, Dave Barry has been going right at the end of the restart zone, so, hey, man, I used to be pretty good, I felt like, whenever I was in any league that did manual cautions. I felt like I could time it with the leader, or normally my preference, if I was control car, I would just always go at the beginning of the restart zone. And I would tell everybody that. I let everybody know when I'm going. Most of the time. And, there's a driver etiquette behind everything, and driver preferences, and just got to be on your timing, really. You don't want to get a penalty for, jumping the restarts, so gotta wait till that leader goes, then hey, everybody can go, but that can be tricky sometimes, as we see Schaefer now going to be in that catbird, position, as some people like to call it, that basket seat, as you could imagine third place might be the way to be sometimes, but there we go. Dave Barry with another good launch, but Kamari and Schaefer gonna hold him strong there. Caught back up to him under braking, but they're gonna have a tussle of their own, as we have some more going on back here in the back. Gonna get the white flag, I do believe, so doesn't really matter at this point onward. But, oh man, Chris Schaefer gets turned by Chris Kamari. But what's going on in the front? Dave Barry, one would assume, checkered flag is out. Philip Bridgman, George Rincon get 1, 2, 3 there. Mark Barry fourth. Chris Kamari possibly top 5. But man, what a drive back for Rincon and Bridgman. Josh Small finishing, I want to say, P6. Yes, indeed, P6. So after a long, hard, battling race here this evening between all these competitors that were able to stick it out, showing the replay of the 23 and 15 incident on the white flag lap. And, oh man, that's a tough one to make, but I would have to say that Kamari just kind of came down onto the 23 and cleaned him out there. As after that, fell back a couple of positions and tried to work it back, but never could. But hey, once these drivers see sometimes, that white flag wave, that's sometimes all it takes for these drivers, and they're trying to scrap and claw and dig for everything, and not sure sometimes if that could be the correct way to go about it, but
oh yeah.
Dave Barry, race results, Dave Barry, Philip Bridgman, George Rincon, top 3 podium finishers. Then you have Mark Barry driving back to a 4th place finishing position. Chris Mary in 5th place after his tussle with Chris Schaefer. Josh Small, Matthew Hunsaker, Ernest King, Joe Stipe, Chris Schaefer is the top 10. Then Brian Swartz, J.D. O'Brien, Michael Day, the finishers of the race. Then Larry McKenzie Jr., Robert Amal, and Randy Koking out of this race that did not finish in the end. As are we going to have Dave Barry to talk to? At least?
Yeah.
It is.
And Philip.
All right. George just isn't in there, I don't think, so.
Correct.
But nevertheless, congratulations to George Rincon. After I figured he had a top 3 car this evening. He looked very strong, and Looked like he could have contended for this win if certain things could have went a bit better his way, but able to drive back to third place as we're going to talk to Philip Bridgman, the P2 finisher. Philip, got a copy?
Hey, I got you.
Hey, so a bit of carnage all night long, and just having to steer clear or try to not be involved in it. Had a couple of good green flag runs here and there, but eventually we would see another caution fly with those green flag runnings. But just a stop start night this evening here at Martinsville, Phil. You were involved in a couple of tussles, kind of got blindsided a couple of moments, but what did you think about that white flag incident that happened in front of you?
Well, that was pretty wild. I'm not too sure what all caused it just yet, but I definitely was not expecting it.
Because that kind of allowed you to gain those positions needed to be second here on the podium this evening. So after a drive back finish, I guess you might want to say, because you were one of the competitors out there this evening that was just in the wars, in the battles, and you most certainly tried not to be, that's for sure. But you had your tussles with Randy and some others. But just all in all, Phil, just tell us about your night and anybody you'd like to thank or anything else you'd like to add about the race.
Yeah, I was doing the best just to stay out of everything the whole night. Just trying to stick to myself. It was a lot of stop and go, like you were saying, base and space, and it just tends to happen at Martinsville. We still had some good racing here and there, I guess. It was pretty rough, but we got through it. I'm glad we got to the end. We're just kind of on to the next one at this point. I was glad to be able to come away with second. I don't even know how I managed to get there. I was just... I tried to avoid it. I did get in one there. I was trying to stay on the lead lap the best I could. I ended up falling down once, but it was alright. And definitely Aerokinetics. I'm glad to still have them on the track. Niagara Quick Dry. I appreciate you guys for putting it on and sticking with us.
Kansas is the next race next week, by the way, so...
Hell yeah, that should be a great track. A lot better than Martinsville.
All right, well, congratulations on the P2 finish, Philip, and thanks for talking to us this evening.
No problem, appreciate it.
Sir, good luck. Get you up there. Where are we at here? Shooby-dooby-doo. Right there. Alright, so we'll substitute Rincon for Chris. If I can get my thing pulled up here, right? Boom, there we go. Move to Chris.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not much. Well, it's a very up and down night. And it's Martinsville. That's just how it tends to be. So next week will probably go a lot smoother. Where it'll be probably less cautions because it's Kansas. So that's always the better one to get out of this short track roughness. But anyway, there was a lot of nicks and crannies out there by a lot of the other drivers who happened to restart on that last restart up there in the front. I guess you had a little slippage occur there, or a little altercation that had happened. Why don't you guys walk us through that last two restarts there?
Yeah, those restarts just kept killing us. I ended up on the outside and second place for the last restart, which is where I did not want to be. Schaefer had the third place inside, where that's where I wanted to be because he could defend the low side. And I guess I just cut into that corner too quick. I already went and talked to Chris and apologized. That was all on me. I ruined it for not just him, but myself. And we both could have had top threes, but I don't know. I just made a mistake there. I'm pretty mad at myself. He doesn't seem to be too upset about it, but I'm pretty upset. But other than that, surprisingly a pretty good run for me up front, like top five majority of it. And there's not a lot of trucks up here, but since I got out of racing last year, that's pretty darn good for me.
Yes, Martinsville can be a crapshoot and a half, that's for sure. At least on this side of things. Luckily for the trucks, I think they only go there once, I do believe. I'm not too sure. A lot of it was just impatience and, well, I really wouldn't say impatient, more of a not used to other drivers' braking points. That's a big key in it, and a lot of things. Braking points are a key throughout the whole night, and if you don't know, select a few people's braking points, this is what's going to happen. But next week, these trucks head to Kansas. So what's going to be your thoughts going into Kansas?
Actually, unfortunately, I'm going to have to miss Kansas, but
That's right, yes.
I'll be here for the one after that, following, of course.
That's right, I forgot about
But
that.
real quick, just want to give a shout out to you guys for putting on the league and of course letting me join. I've been having a lot of fun doing this. It's been a good time, good racing with these guys. A shout out to my Northwest teammates, Team Ramrod and 1-5 Studios, of course.
There you go. Well, it's always an honor to have you out here on Tuesdays, but also have you and Will up in the booth on Saturdays. It's always good to go back and watch that part of the shindig that goes on Saturdays. Unfortunately, Saturdays you guys will be on the dirt side of things again, so you can give your expertise to Will and the dirt side of things and kind of compare the difference. Watch me look like a fool, just like as we watched a lot of other guys on last week on Tuesday look like fools. So we got another round of that. Will, you got anything for Chris?
Well, just thanks for talking to us, Chris, and hopefully, moving forward, you can, like you were saying the other day, just kind of gradually move up the point standings and just have some good finishes, for you.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for talking to me.
Yes, sir. Not a problem. Last but not least, our race winner, old Dave. We'll go ahead and bring up one of the brothers. The race winner, though. Unfortunately for his brother, Will, I feel bad for Mark, but it was very sticky situations.
Mark came back to get a top five, I do believe. I believe he finished fourth, right?
Yeah, he did finish fourth.
He still, got a good top five out of it. Surprisingly enough, is how much he was kind of beaten and battered there. But Dave, how are you this evening after winning here at Martinsville?
Oh, I feel pretty good. That was a great race.
Yeah, just things kind of went your way, kind of everything, all the different restarts and just the couple of battles you were having. You and Matthew there had a couple of good little battles going on. You were really applying the pressure there to him a couple of different times, but just mainly, Dave, talk about these restarts, because we saw you have a problem or a mistake really on one of the restarts, and a bunch of other competitors just really talk about how difficult it can be trying to manage your restarts here at Martinsville.
Yeah, the restarts on the outside was just really tough. I know a lot of the guys, they decided to start in third gear instead of second, and I could see why. I mean, the outside was just that bad. And that's when I thought I really threw my race away. But everything worked out. I got my truck fixed or fixed enough, and then Matt was the class of the field by far, but he had some trouble. He ended up pitting him and George. George was really quick too, and with me being in the front and controlling the start, that's really what I needed. So that was it. Just made it a lot better for myself anyway.
Right. Next week we will be at Kansas. Tell us what you kind of expect or what you're looking forward to at Kansas.
A lot of high speeds, very little lifting, if any, at certain times, and just giving her hell.
Well, a big congratulations to you, Dave. Is there anything else you might want to add or talk about? Maybe get some shout outs there, Dave?
Yeah, I want to, just, I hate it for Matt. Like I say, he was the top dog here tonight, and, George was able to bounce back. So, somebody that we didn't see up at the front all night was Phillip, and then boom, he finishes second, and that just goes to show why he's our points leader. Congratulations to Mark for 4th place. So, just another good week, and glad to get a win finally. And these guys are freaking tough.
Yes.
Also, I'd like to get a shout out to the BNR broadcast and 15 Studios, Brian, Will. Appreciate it every week. It's fun, and can't wait to go back and watch.
Well, I appreciate those comments very much, Dave, wholeheartedly. And we really appreciate trying to provide a show for the drivers to go back and watch, but just not the drivers, but, live as well while, say family members or friends tune in to watch you and your fellow competitors battle it out just about every race, every week. We do try our best to present the best races possible, so thank you for those very kind words there, Dave.
Is there?
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh no! I was just agreeing with the Will.
So, yes, Dave, thanks for talking to us and giving your thoughts about the overall race and the win here. Like you said, moving forward next week to Kansas, lots of high speeds and probably low to little lifting to be expected. Lots of good side-by-side battling, hopefully. Almost probably going to play out maybe like a super speedway race. We just got to wait and see. And just congratulations on, overcoming all and winning this race here tonight. Martinsville can be very tough. And like you said, you probably didn't feel like you had the fastest truck. You felt that Matthew did. He just kind of had some mistakes and problems of his own, which pretty much everybody did. So,
yeah, but all in all, we had a good green flag run, and that was pretty fun. So there was a lot of good racing out there. So I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Yes, we always enjoy having you out here. So, well, Mr. Dave, we'll get you back up there, and we'll see you again on Thursday.
Sounds good. I'll see you guys,
Yeah.
and thank you.
Oops, I thought he was done. Anyway, that will close it up here tonight. From the BNR Racing Network, from myself, Brian Hunt, and Will Roberts, I'd like to thank y'all for coming out here tonight and spending that hour and a half, almost 2 hours with us as these truckers put on a hell of a show here tonight at Martin's. I know it's a little rough, but we will be back live, same time, same channel, on Thursday night, same track, different cars. Will be the Xfinity Series. So, and then you can catch Will also again on Saturday night with Chris on 15 Studios Broadcasting on YouTube. So make sure to give them a follow over there too on Saturday nights. And for myself and Will again, we want to thank you guys for coming out, and you guys have